Finally, an easy position because we have only 2 moves, but even this sometimes can be a dilemma. And the problem here in this example is that the move which looks much more complicated and where you need to calculate more is actually the right one. And this is unfortunately sometimes even a kind of bad guide because you prefer to do a move where you have to calculate less. This is a kind of general human thing, so less work the better, but here actually this can be crucial. So in this example it would help to know a lot of motifs, especially mating patterns, because the more patterns you know, or motifs or patterns, the better is, because then actually the decision here would be a quite easy one, because you would smell that there is something after king a2. And since I already mentioned, here is a pattern or a hidden pattern which is related to a mating pattern, because the king on a2 objectively has only one square, which is the square on a3. If the king would go on that square, then there is a bait on a1. So this already like smells a little bit awkward. So after king a2, the question is, where is the pattern hidden? And the pattern is hidden here on the diagonal f8 a3. So all we need to do is to get the queen on a3. If this is happening, then after king takes a3, there is a mate on a1. Now, of course, the solution is kind of easy, because for that we have only 2 candidate moves, knight f7 and knight c4. Knight c4 also attacking the queen we can rule out quickly, because the knight can simply capture, and now the king does have an additional square on b2. That's why here queen a3 doesn't work anymore. But unfortunately, knight f7 is the right move. And here the problem is that the queen is not able to protect a3 or a1, no matter what, because we cannot go on the diagonal without being taken. And if you go, for example, like queen c3, just to demonstrate the nice mating pattern, then queen a3 check, king takes a3, and rook a1 mate. So in general, like the decision-making process is a lot easier the more you know, but this is a general thing in chess. So solving a lot of mating patterns, or like solving a lot of exercises in all kind of patterns, is very helpful in order to find the right move. We get other examples where actually it's a little bit more sophisticated. This is a kind of easy one, because if you know the mating pattern, then it's quite obvious that you cannot play king a2, but we will get to some positions where experience and pattern recognition definitely would facilitate the job to find the right move. So instead of king a2, Achterstein in his game against John Nunn, he was quite clever. He played rook c1. However, he had to calculate a little bit the capture, king takes c1, and here queen f1 check as one option. But the easiest here is knight d1, which was played by Achterstein. Because, okay, if the king moves, then there are 100 other checks, and after knight d1 there is no available check. Here bishop e2 has to be calculated, and after queen takes d6, queen takes d1 and king b2, it's clear that this will end in a kind of perpetual check, because, okay, you have some check here, but all you need to do for white is to be careful not to touch a square where the bishop can join the party, because if you prepare something for black, then white always has the escape of a perpetual check pattern as well. So once again, here in this exercise, an easy way of learning the sad truths. The more you know, the more you train patterns, the better is, because then it will make your decision-making process a lot easier.